Hi, I'm Dee. I'm at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex here in the mission hub of the Astronaut Training Experience. We are going to go to the moon, we are going to go to Mars, and we are going to go to all kinds of places in outer space. And one of the things that we need to do if we're going to be able to do that safely is protect ourselves from radiation. Now here on Earth, we actually encounter radiation every day. You might not be aware of it because Earth is designed with an atmosphere and a magnetic sphere that actually protects us from most radiation. But once you get beyond Earth's atmosphere, well, it's a little bit different. Even on Earth, the radiation that we get exposed to every day comes from our sun, and we need to learn how to protect ourselves from that, specifically the ultraviolet radiation. Now, ultraviolet can be a problem because it's not something that we can see with our eyes, so we don't always know that we're being exposed to it. So we've had to develop materials that react in the presence of ultraviolet light so that we know if we're getting too much ultraviolet radiation. We're going to go outside in a few minutes so that we can show you how these things react in ordinary sunlight, but first, while we're indoors, I'm going to show you using my special flashlight that is known as a UV light or ultraviolet light. This is the same kind of light that's used in tanning beds, so you want to be very careful not to overexpose yourself. You don't want to take this and put it right on your skin because you could get radiation burns or radiation poisoning. We call them sunburns and skin cancer, and we don't want to get those. So that's why we need to protect ourselves when we're out in the sun's radiation. What are some of the things you can think of that would protect you? If you're thinking about clothing, hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, those are all fantastic. Now with sunglasses, we want to make sure that we've got the kind that do say they protect from UV or ultraviolet radiation. My glasses actually have a special tinting on them that reacts in the presence of ultraviolet light. It turns them into sunglasses. I'm going to show you how that works. I have my ultraviolet flashlight and I'm going to put it only on one of the lenses. And I want you to watch as that ultraviolet radiation hits that lens, how it darkens. So I might not be able to see the ultraviolet, but the chemical that's on my eyeglasses can. And because of that, it's turning dark. This also means that it's protecting my eyes from the ultraviolet radiation when I'm wearing these glasses. In addition to things like sunglasses, we also have special plastics that will change colors when exposed to ultraviolet radiation. We call these UV beads. You might have some at home, you might not. You can actually get them online from a lot of different places. But when there's no ultraviolet hitting them, they appear to be white. When exposed to ultraviolet, they then change into all different colors. And the darker, brighter the colors are, the more ultraviolet radiation that you're being exposed to. Now, here are some things that you can do at home. I'm going to show you in here and then we're going to go out in the sunlight to test them. It's a little bit crazy for me right now because I can only see out of one side of my glasses. The other side still hasn't reacted to the absence of the ultraviolet, but eventually it'll clear up. One of my favorite things to do with ultraviolet is secret message writing. You can do this if you have a yellow highlighter and a yellow piece of paper. You can also do it with a pink highlighter and a pink piece of paper. Oops. Or a green highlighter and a green piece of paper. You get it, right? But I like to do it with the yellow. So if I take my yellow highlighter and I draw on the paper, you really can't see anything, can you? And this is what makes it secret. So you can draw a note to somebody and then have them read it using ultraviolet light. Now, if you pass the note outside, they're going to be able to see it. Ultraviolet reveals what I've just written. So you can pass secret notes that way. Another thing that you can do is you can make artwork without a pen or pencil. Red paper especially reacts in the presence of sunlight by fading very quickly. Most construction paper will fade. So the red, for some reason, goes faster than other things because the chemicals that they use to make the red color are what they call fugitive chemicals, which means if you expose them to sunlight, they're going to fade. So what you can do is you can just take a piece of paper, you can put sticky notes on it, paper clips, basically any objects that you want. You'll want to either tape them down or weigh them down if they're going to be outside because you don't want them to blow away. But you can also place them in a sunny window and the same thing will happen. You're just going to leave that out in the sunlight for about 8 hours, and when you look at it the next day, if you remove your objects, you're going to see the outlines of those in a darker color because the rest of the paper, as it's exposed to the light, is going to fade away. Let's go outside for a minute so that you can see this in action. So here we are outside, and as you can see, my glasses have turned into sunglasses as the sun is hitting them with full force of ultraviolet radiation. I'm not going to stay out here too long because I don't want to get a sunburn. But you can also see that my UV beads now are very bright colors. And I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera. You know, human eyes sometimes can pick up things that cameras can't, but I can read what I've written here now, which actually says, "Can you read this?" and then the smiley face that I drew inside. So you can use these things to pass secret messages, to play with different toys and watch how they change colors in the sun, to keep your eyes safe and test your sunglasses. And I hope that you have learned a little bit about radiation and how to protect yourselves from it while you're home from school and looking for things to do. You can go outside, but remember not to overdo it. And while you're looking up, don't ever look directly at the sun because that would not be good for you no matter what kind of glasses you're wearing. So this is Dee from Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Have a great day, folks.